Good morning YouTube. Today is going to be a day of rectifying some issues that I think I've got. I've got a 2008 Defender Puma and it's got heavy breathing chuffing out the oil cap. I believe it's going to be something to do with the injectors, getting blowback past them. I've got my good friend Curtis here. He's going to be helping me out doing the work. Let's get to it. Just like to give a bit of a shout out to Empire Tuning. They've helped me source all the right parts for my Defender, and I'll run through them in a minute. So Curtis needs to lift my bonnet because I can't just pull my lever and it pop up. So with Curtis's help, we're up. Would you do me the honours, Curtis, of starting the vehicle, and I'll I don't think it will be too bad now. I've started it once already. Oh yeah, keys would help. There you go, mate. Ready, mate? Whether that's picking up on camera. You can see on Curtis's hand, look, all that oil splatter. So that's quite bad, that is. Or in my opinion, it could be better. So after some tea and biscuits and a quick nosy at what we're going to do, we're going to crack on and try and make this happen without any problems. We just... and then nice and easy, eh? So the parts kit that I have been sent out is new copper washers, rocker gasket, injector seals, basically to eliminate all leaks, because I have got a little bit of a leak. And the reason for doing this is I'll get a really bad smell as well. On boost, I think all the blowback is coming past the injectors and coming out the rocker cover, hence creating a leak. Who knows? All the fuel rail is unbolted, all the injector pipes, all the plugs. So basically the injectors can come out now, we can lift the rocker cover and just give everything a good inspection. Take out the stretch bolts, always use new stretch bolts, never use old ones. I know you would, yeah. Is
that what that look was?
Yeah. So throw that in the bin, unless you're Curtis, of course.
Nothing wrong with that bolt.
So once the stretch bolt's out, you can get the injector clamp, is it? Oh, is that what you call these?
Some of them are called crow's foot, but that doesn't really look like a crow's foot.
Like two crow's foot. Well, I can't do this one-handed, so the camera's going back on the tripod. you get the third as well?
Yeah, they're all out.
Nice.
So yours have to be kept in order?
I am gonna. I'm not sure if that's the case with these. I'm not sure if they're coded or not.
Just as good practice.
Yeah. So down here is at where the injector seats. So I've got a seat cutting tool. I'm going to clean up that and then put a new copper washer in there when they come out, which is literally as easy as that. Copper washers on that one too, which is great. All these seals are going to get replaced. It's just a good bit of maintenance. This is a maintenance thing to do as well. How often is anyone's guess? Definitely. How often would you say you'd do this as a maintenance?
I have no idea. Every time it starts smelling.
Yeah, I'm doing this because I had a smell, so that was my first indication that something's not quite right. It could even be that my pistons are on their way out too. This might not solve my problem, but this is the cheapest way, or the cheapest thing to try first. Right, so rocker cover is coming off. I'm going to crack the bolts, which I think Curtis might have already done. No?
No.
Really?
This is what I was like with mine when you changed it. Half the reason it leaks is because the gasket's shriveled up and because the bolts aren't bloody tight.
Oh no. Well. That's not good. Or maybe it is, because we now know what my oil leak is. First time in my ownership, people, the rocker cover has ever been off, and it's an engine. I hope.
Interesting one.
I hope. Oh, we can now find out what that oh.
Or not.
I was hoping to see more. So, I might have to just get the camera for this. Would you mind being the demonstrator? So the rocker cover is off. This is some sort of oil breather, but we thought when we was going to take this off, we thought we was going to turn it over.
We might find, because we tried to take the PCV apart, see if we could find a problem in here.
But I don't think this has got a PCV.
Has it not?
I'm not sure. From what I've got really...
We hoped we might find a problem under there and establish, well, maybe you can get to it from underneath.
But there is nothing underneath, which is weird. So that is just a breather for the rocker, I think.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. I'm not...
The spring that we found in the top must be the only part of it.
I'm no mechanic.
You don't have to be. It's a Land Rover.
Now we've got good access to the head. We can see
A whole lot of things.
yeah,
Don't know what they are.
lots of things, lots of tappets and rockers and rollers, and
You got some movie bits connected to your solid bits. surrounded by the oily bits. But the aim of the game is we need to clean up those holes.
Yeah, up those holes, re-clean, get this all nice and clean, because that is actually pretty filthy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I can't see an obvious leak. Maybe at the back of the engine.
No, it's not got the airways with grommets, which I was expecting, which is what caused the issue on mine.
So we'll be cleaning up the injector holes, and then cleaning up the face that the rocker sits on, and basically reassembling with new parts. So just getting a bit of rag and some brake cleaner. Oh, straight in the engine.
Maybe don't get too much fit in the engine.
So it evaporates, doesn't it? Clean up the mating surfaces. Right, so we're pretending to take these seals out because we already done it and I wasn't recording. But removing the rocker seal and then the injector seals, and then basically we've got some brake cleaner and we're just getting real down and dirty with it, getting it as clean as possible. In my opinion, I think traffic film remover or something like that doesn't flash off quick would be better. I might just go and get some Fairy Up liquid and use soap and water for this, let it dry. What do you reckon, Curtis? Do you reckon that's a better idea?
Get pressure washer out and just blast the whole thing.
I haven't got one. So now we have got the rocker cover all cleaned up. We're just letting that dry, and while we're doing that, it is time to break out the injector seat cleaning tool. Basically, that polishes the seats or takes away the carbon build-up of where the injectors seat, or the copper washer seats, and then the injector in that. This is where I think I'm having issues, because I think I'm getting blowback past the injector from the crankcase pressure. So yeah, fingers crossed. This is where it really matters. So that is what the seat cleaning tool looks like. You've got the rod that goes down into the bore, and then it's like a jagged edge sort of thing that cleans up the carbon, pushes it out. I'll then spray a bit of brake cleaner down there to wash away. Ideally I would have had an airline, but I'm just going to try and be as clean as possible without one. So that goes down into the hole, like so. Just decided to go with just hand pressure, just spin it round. So I'm not sure how well you can see this, but that is a cleaned injector seat. Obviously the focus point's all wrong, sorry about that. Down there was one that looks a bit minging, probably that's not too bad. Yeah, that's a dirty one. That's a clean one. Clean one. Another clean one. So yeah, we're we're making good progress. There's a close-up of the tool. It just chips away at the carbon build-up, cleans the seat, polishes it, so when you put the injector back in, it looks nice, and it sits and seals nicely. I think number 3 here is the one I had the issues with, because I should have showed you really, but it had carbon build-up up the bore. So yeah, good progress. So Curtis has just come and got me a nice clean injector. Have you cleaned that one?
No.
No, so that's not been cleaned.
Came out the engine.
This is the problem child. Look at the difference.
Must be the one that's leaking.
That'd be the one that was leaking in number 3, like I just said. So, an injector, this is one of the clean ones. Just going to remove the old washer, get a bit of brake cleaner, a bit of rag, try not to touch the end too much, but just make it as clean as possible before it goes back in. We have now cleaned up all the injectors. We've got a good old cup of tea on the go. Now we're going to reassemble the rocker cover with all new seals, which are from Empire Tuning, and then it's basically a reassemble game. So I'm really looking forward to starting this up, knowing that number 3 injector was all caked up and clearly had some blowback past the injector like I suspected. Here we go.
Definitely all done. No 10mm sockets in the engine.
Come on, stop, turn the key and cooler on. Push the pause for relief. Free pass, you don't even have to ask to be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through. Today I've got better things to do.
I would imagine just go round twice maybe, do them a little bit tight all the way round, and then go round with a final pinch up. I mean, it's a very thick plush gasket, so it can be very forgiving. And when it leaks and gets all this dirty, you just go around and tighten them up a bit more.
Finger tighten in 180, isn't it? For everything. It's raining, so we're having to do things under some
Everything can be fixed with a hammer.
and we're having to work underneath that because it's starting to rain, which is really unfortunate. But while Curtis is doing the seals, I'm going to be putting the copper washers on the injectors. I'm just going to use a little bit of copper grease to stick the injector to the bottom, stick the washer to the bottom of the injector, so when we offer the injector in, it doesn't fall down. It just makes life easy. So here we are putting the new let's show you this actually, new injectors in, or the new copper washers on the injectors and then back in. I've used a bit of copper grease to just hold the washer there so it doesn't fall off when we're going down into the head. Well, that one's not sitting right then, is it? Oh, this is worrying. Fuck. So we couldn't get the injector in because the the washer had fallen off on the way down, so obviously I didn't put enough grease on it to hold it. Curtis has just made it sit flush with a long screwdriver, and now we're going to go again for 3 and 4.
That one should drop straight in.
Lovely.
That's more like it.
Happy days. Would you mind holding the camera, sir? Nah, don't worry about it. Perfect. Last one. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Great success. So this is what clamps the injector in. That literally slides down on one and on the other one, like so. And then using a new stretch bolt, like so, get it started. And now you've got to torque them to 6 Newton meters and 180 degrees. The injectors are all in, all clamped down, all torqued up. The overspill pipes are on, and now we're just putting the fuel rail pipes on loosely. We nip them up, and that would be the green light to fire her up and see whether we've got excessive pressure coming through the oil filler cap. Very excited by this. I think even Curtis is excited for me.
Wrong one, you gave me that one.
Have I?
Must be.
Sorry, mate.
Testing me.
Yeah. Please don't sack me. Curtis has recently got back from Morocco. He's visited the Sahara Desert in his D1, converted to an M57. Unfortunately though, he had to limp back home with a head gasket issue, which is a bit of a shame. But this man will throw anything. He'll throw an M57 in anything for 600 quid, was it? 800 quid. 800. You buy the engine and he'll do it.
After the way this week's gone, I might have to up that price, because it turns out it can be a bit of a nightmare. Excited that it's all sorted, and then that briefly turns to nerves as you think, what have we forgotten?
Yeah, what have we forgotten? I don't think we've forgotten anything. So the time is, I'm not sure of priming this. You might just have to turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. I'm not sure.
It doesn't do the old TD5 pump the pedal.
No, well, you can try it. I'm not too sure if that is.
I can hear a fuel pump going.
Nah, that's why I think these are a bit of a nightmare to bleed out.
Doesn't do the TD5 trick.
Nah,
You want to just try it?
I think we've got no choice. Be quick on the accelerator if it does go. Hey. That sounds lovely as well. Loads better. Sounds pretty sweet though. That used to spit oil all over my hand. That used to spit oil all over my hand. I don't know if you heard it the first time, but now I'm staying completely dry.
Seems nice and clean.
A great success. Thanks to my mate Curtis. And a huge thank you to Empire Tuning. I am back from a big old test drive now. Definitely got some performance back in the car. It runs really smoothly, which is nice. However, the reason for doing this today, the injector seals, the injector seats, new copper washers, the rocker gasket, was to cure a smell that I keep smelling on boost. I was thinking that I was building so much crankcase pressure that it was coming through past the injectors into the rocker cover, and leaking out. But I'm confident that the work I've done today is right and correct, and they're all nicely seated. So I'm a bit lost with this one now. Maybe it's time to seek proper help, who knows. It's now the next day and I'm going to continue to service the Defender. It's going to have an oil change, oil filter, fuel filter, air filter, and I'm going to just give it a general once over underneath just to see the condition of the vehicle, as it's been a long winter. Parts I'm using, I'm replacing the sump plug, and there's your free air fresheners that you get with it. It's having a Empire Tuning air filter, an ITG one, a new diesel fuel filter. It's having X-Tech 5W30 oil, 7 litres of that, mile oil filter, and I've got some brake cleaner, GT85 just in case, and I'm gonna give it some high mileage. No, I'm not, I've bought the wrong one. That's petrol injector cleaner. Oops. I'll have to go and get some diesel one. My mistake. Starting in the engine bay. Whenever doing an oil change, I always undo the oil filler cap, just because it allows you to drain the oil better, because you get a better flow. I've also parked up on the curb just so the angle of the sump is nicer and more free flowing. So I'm going to undo the sump. This will be hot because I've run the engine. That's a 13mm. I'm also going to undo the oil filter once the sump's empty, and that's a 27. god. Oh fuck. That didn't go well. Not sure if I like these Halfords oil catch can things. That really didn't go well at all. Ugh. I've made a horrendous mess. Uh-oh. Did you ever put some cardboard down, I guess? So I've just made a fantastic load of mess, and now I've got to add that to my Sunday chores or things to do, clean it up once the service side of things have done. But I've drained the oil. Next will be oil filter, so I'm going to do that and put the sump plug back in, and then I can fill it up with some fresh oil and do the other side of things, i.e. the fuel filter and the air filter. So the old sump plug has left the rubber bung there. It's always important to remove any old gaskets or rubber rings, because if you double seal them by accident, it makes a right old mess still. It leaks, doesn't seal as well. Again, with the oil filter housing, you've got an O-ring. You want to make sure you remove it, because you will have a new one with the new filter. Chuck the oil filter in, replace the O-ring like so. I'm going to go and get some grease and put some grease around the O-ring. Just makes it easier to tighten up, and it also makes it easier to undo. Say hello to the puppy dog. A good boy. Yeah, you are. You're a good boy. So that's the air filter done. Onto the oil next. I'm just going to use a funnel to help me pour it in. I believe they take 6.3 litres of 5W30. This is Comma X-Tech. So it's going to have the whole of this one. All of this one. and then 0.3 of the last one. But I'm just gonna eyeball it and then top it up if required. So roughly 6.3 litres in there now. So I would probably say that wants topping up a little bit. Check it on. This is my attempt to clean up. I've just bought bottles of Fairy, or cheap versions of it, and I've just got the hose pipe. I'm just going to work the oil out of the concrete or tarmac. But move locations, on to the next job. So we have the oil filter, tired now, fuel filter, really simple. Got a like a screw bolt there. Undo that, that comes off. This should simply unscrew and come down. New one, tells you which way is locked and unlocked. Nice and easy. Drain water regularly. So I'm going to fit this now, and that is the service nearly complete. Nearly there now. I have just been checking levels, brake fluid I can visually see, coolant sort of visually see it, but I'm going to try and stick maybe a cable tie down there to sort of measure how much fluid's in there. Air filter's done, all the injector seats were done yesterday, so I'm happy about that. Topping up with screen wash, going to check the power steering fluid, and that's going to be as much of a service as it's getting for the moment. At some point I will, probably towards the end of the year, do my diffs and gearbox, because I've recently done gearbox oil. I've done diffs not too long ago as well, and just go from there really. But I think that's going to conclude this YouTube video. I've never really done a servicing or working type video like this, so you'll have to excuse the mishaps, i.e. the oil spill. Quite hard to actually film, so credit to all the other YouTubers out there that actually make this happen and make it look cool. I'm signing out. Like, comment, subscribe, tell all your mates. Mwah.